As a quick precursor to this episode, I would love to invite you to attend the autumn edition of my in-person event, Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena, which will be held on Friday the 8th of November in Barnes, southwest London. It's a 5-minute walk from Barnes Station, and there's also a free car parking place on site. So it's the best of both worlds. We will be preparing and planning for your best ever 2025, and you will leave with that vision and strategy for your next 12 months with a newfound sense of connection and focus. We will be harvesting your present and planting the seeds for a profitable and joyful 2025, allowing your business goals to bloom with ease. I'm very excited to be bringing the warmth of the season and all of those beautiful colours and everything we can learn from shedding what no longer serves us and preparing for spring. Embrace the seasons of change and join me on 8th of November to Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena. Do not worry if you don't know anyone. I will ensure that you feel welcome from the moment you arrive until the moment you leave. I cannot wait to see you there, and grab the link now in the show notes. Hello and welcome to Women in the Coaching Arena podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Jo Lott, a business mentor and ICF accredited coach, and I help coaches to build brilliant businesses. I know that when you prepare to enter the arena, there is fear, self-doubt, comparison, anxiety, uncertainty, shame. You can tend to armor up and protect yourself from vulnerability. In this podcast, I'll be sharing honest, not hype, practical and emotional tools to support you to make the difference that you're here for. Dare greatly, you belong in this arena. Hello, welcome to the 35th episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I am so glad you are here. Today is going to be a slightly different episode because I feel like I am shifting slightly, and I want to share the behind the scenes with you so you see what a business shift can look like and feel like, because I wish I heard more behind the scenes stuff from other business owners. So I hope this will be useful for you. Last week, I signed up with a new mentor. I have been with my previous business coach for 18 months now. And so this one just came out of the blue, really. I wasn't kind of seeking another program, but you know what it's like. You get swept up in the emails. And what I really liked about him, because it's what I value massively, and I haven't seen out there. So I think we always create what we want. And what I want is someone to genuinely care about my success, and in a personal capacity as well as a business capacity, and for them to be personally invested in me. And that connection is something I seek massively to provide my clients. So to find someone who I feel like will be able to do the same for me feels so exciting. We have only had 2 calls so far, but I've already implemented loads of the stuff he's talked about. And I think that's actually a really good reflection that it's actually quite easy when you are further along in business for a really small thing to have a massive impact, because you've already done the hard work of building. So many of you are in that initial first 2-year stage or something when it's just an uphill battle to build your audience, to get your clarity, to know what you're doing in this marketing world. It really is the hardest part. And when you're out the other side, it can get so much easier, because like one small thing he asked me to do resulted in a really big impact, because I've done the hard work, and he knows that. It's why a lot of mentors work with people further along in their business journey, because then it's really easy to get those big results because they've already done the hard graft before you've got to them. I think what having a new mentor who really feels invested in me, and I feel like we have got so much further to go, but already things have just opened up and I see so many more opportunities. So I'm excited to see what comes of that. I'm actually going away for 5 nights to the French Alps, depending on when you're listening to this. I may already be back. And that is with the mastermind group. So it's kind of, you get mentoring, but it's also part of a group program as well. So it's a bit like how I run my program. I think there's 10 of us going to this amazing place. We are going to be doing business building and hot seats and obviously having a good time as well. So I'm so excited to be able to hang around with other business owners in a similar stage to me. So I think that's going to be a real pivotal moment. I've never been on a retreat, and lots of people talk about that true transformation that can happen when you're fully away from home in a completely different country. So I will keep you posted. The next exciting change in my business just this week is that I incorporated my company. So far, I have been a sole trader. If you have been debating the sole trader limited company thing, I loved being a sole trader. I really didn't want to incorporate my company, but at some point people start saying, oh, it's more cost effective. So I thought the time was right to do that. It feels really weird to finally incorporate my company years on from establishing my business. And again, it's just that new beginning, new chapter. It makes me feel like I have got new possibilities to build this business on. I'm the true model for what I always talk to my clients about, which is start now, get perfect later. So all of this stuff that many coaches love doing, which is like incorporate the company and design the logo and get the website and do the branding. It's all stuff I haven't really prioritized massively until recently, because I'm prioritizing getting fee-paying clients. Like that's the thing that's going to grow my business in order to be at the position of being able to pay an accountant every single month, to run my books and file my accounts. I think often these things earlier on in the journey can be a real distraction. Obviously, there is a whole legal debate about sole trader limited company, but personally, I absolutely loved being a sole trader. So if you are early on in your journey, that's an option. The next exciting thing that's been happening in my world is I trademarked this podcast. So I've trademarked Women in the Coaching Arena. We were driving on our holidays, and in my car, I went on the government website, figured out how to do it, applied, and was excited to receive my trademark this week. Lots of coaches talk to me about whether they should trademark their program name. Again, it's not really something I would probably waste my time or money doing at the early stages, because 2 months in, for example, you might decide to change that program. So, I have had this podcast now since March. So it was kind of like about time, because the risk is that if somebody else decides to take the name, I might have to take my podcast down. So it's about evaluating that risk. And if you are fairly early on in business and you haven't got anything super established, then it's probably not such a risk. I think in business, it needs to be fast, messy action. Otherwise, you will get frozen and take no money generating activity action at all. So as you can probably tell from every episode I record, it's all about helping real paying clients that can help you to do the work you're here for, rather than getting too stuck in all of the admin. So whilst, yes, in some circumstances, it's a great idea to trademark things, weigh up what's the risk, what's the time involved, what's the money involved, and is that right for you right now? The next exciting official thing I have done is renew my ICF ACC accreditation. If you have been through this process, you'll know it's kind of painful. But anyway, I have excitedly done 40 more hours of continuous coach training and mentoring. So I have renewed my ICF accreditation for another 3 years, which is super, super exciting. I must say, in all honesty, I don't do that much pure coaching anymore, because in business coaching, generally it's because they want my guidance and help. So it's definitely more mentoring I do right now. But I do bring in those coaching skills, and I don't think there is like an official accreditation for mentoring. And that's interesting, because I did see something from the EMCC the other day from a top professor there saying that mentoring was always like the poor little sister of coaching, and that's no longer the case, and people are really, really valuing mentoring now. So yes, I am a super proud mentor to be able to use my coaching skills to help people get exactly what they need, but also to share where I am to help them to get there quicker. If you are wondering whether to go for ICF accreditation, the benefits to your business are that associate coaching organizations often require some sort of accreditation through either the ICF or EMCC or Association for Coaching. So if you want to do associate coaching, which is when they get the business and you get to do the coaching, it's obviously at a lower rate because they are getting the business, but that is one benefit to getting accreditation. Obviously, for your own personal development, and so you have dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, and some organizations will want to see that accreditation, but it's not as essential as I thought. I did my ILM level 7 in executive coaching and mentoring, and then did the entire Personal Learning thing again, thinking, I won't feel ready until I've got my ICF ACC. And now I know that ready feeling just doesn't come. I was ready then. So if you are just using it as an excuse to avoid getting real paying clients, then it's not recommended. The next super exciting thing I have done is created a coach's planner. I am so excited about this because it's something that I need myself to really plan out what I'm selling each month, to note down my social media stats so I can track how they're growing each month, to note down names of people I want to keep in touch with, to note down my niche, my offers, my strategy, to keep me on track pretty much. Because I think most entrepreneurs are shiny object people. We love creation and therefore selling one thing at a time, which is what I genuinely believe it takes to be clear in business, is a real challenge. So it's on sale now. I will share the link in the show notes and you can grab the PDF fillable copy and fill it in online if that's your style. You can print it out, or there is also a copy on Amazon. So you can actually order a proper shiny copy too. I will leave all of those links in the show notes so you can transform your qualifications into clients and plan for your best year yet in 2024. So it feels like a new and exciting time to be leaving my mark with a registered company, trademark for my podcast, a tangible book related to my business available on Amazon and electronically. It's exciting that all of the hard work, and it has been hard work, has led to the place that now I feel like, yes, I have a proper business. I have a virtual assistant, Jo, who's amazing. I have a social media manager, Nicole, who's amazing. And it feels so good to be supported. I would love to have more help because currently I run all of my own tech stuff. So all these funnels and emails, if you're on my email list, you'll know what I mean. And they are complex to do in the background. So next up will definitely be some sort of tech VA to take the ins and outs of the back end of my portal off my hands. But saying that, the benefits to you of learning how to do these things, and for me of learning how to do these things, is that you really understand, and then it feels less scary. And if you hire someone roughly how much work there is to do for the amount that they might be quoting you. So it's such an amazing learning journey, having a business, before you get ready to really effectively delegate. Now I would love to reflect on the journey that has brought me to where I am today. And that includes the ups and the downs and the changes. And I had a really great coaching session just now about how attached we can get to what we have created and what we've done so far in our business, even if what we are attracting is not what we thought we would be doing in our coaching business. I started off doing executive coaching. At that time, I'd left an organization that I wasn't happy in. It was very controlling. So I think after many, many years within that organization, adjusting who I was meant to be, what I was meant to say, how I could keep in the good books essentially at all times with all people was exhausting. So when I started coaching within organizations, I found it really stifling to hear, I guess, where I had been reflected back at me. So feeling like they had no control and they had to stay at this organisation because the holiday was good and the pension was good. And I was just like thinking, gosh, come on, there's a whole world out there, because I had discovered this whole world out there. All I'm saying is it just didn't bring me joy. It wasn't what I wanted to hear about when I was into this world of entrepreneurship, loving the fact I can do anything I want, I can create anything I want, there is no ceiling. So I soon realized executive coaching was not really what I wanted to do, which led me to career coaching, because then what I obviously loved is helping people leave those jobs that they hated and get into work that they love. And I absolutely love career coaching. It was a super hard decision when eventually I moved into business coaching, because if someone's literally going for an interview that next week, or you can do their CV and have such a massive impact on them in such a short period of time. So I really adored career change. Obviously, sometimes it was way slower if people were actually completely changing career, thinking about what they want next. Sometimes it was years before that actually happened. Then it's a bit more like just loving watching their discovery and their journey. Because I was very visible and I did lots of talks and run career training in organisations and did lots of one-to-one within organisations on career stuff specifically, other coaches started asking me for my help. So that is how 2 years ago now, I started my business of coaching program on the side. So I had my career business as well. And like I say to anyone that works with me or on this podcast all the time, it's really difficult to do two things really well. So at some point, you probably will want to choose. So you are running one business with one ideal client and one offer and one message, rather than completely frozen into what to post. So I think I posted nothing for 4 months because I was in this quandary that many of you find yourself in, of not really knowing who I was talking to, what business I was trying to attract. And that is why it can be so helpful to choose one ideal client, and then you will never, ever run out of content, because when you know your ideal client inside out, content is just everywhere. So I took that brave decision eventually to go all in on my business coaching venture, and I've absolutely loved every moment. I think many of us are trying to provide the solution that we want. And so it's a real joy to see people go on that journey, see their confidence grow massively, and see them charge for coaching, raise their prices massively, all of the things that can come from having a really good mentor-client relationship. So wherever you are on your journey right now, know that it's not wasted. Those 2 years I spent in the career and executive space have really helped me massively in my business now, reflecting, because I have my own learnings to share. And also I talk a lot to my clients about behind closed doors, you can do all sorts of things. Like, for example, I have 3 of my clients currently doing a project for me, running workshops and doing one-to-one coaching. So it doesn't mean that you have to say no to any work that is outside of your niche. It just means in your marketing that you are super clear, super specific. I would love to hear your story, your milestones. What has been your biggest learning so far? Please do drop me a message on LinkedIn and let me know. So with that, I will do a quick recap on what I covered in this episode. So how important a new mentor can be and what shifts it can really open up for you. And I'm excited to share more about my journey as I continue this relationship. Then I talked about the fact my company is now incorporated, so I'm getting official. I have trademarked the podcast again, another little tick in the official box. I have created a coach's planner. You can either buy the downloadable PDF fillable copy, or you can go on Amazon and buy yourself a hard copy. I will put links in the show notes. It's called the Coach's Planner. So thank you for being part of my business journey. It's going to get a whole lot more exciting because I have run my main flagship program, the Business of Coaching, for over 2 years now. And so I'm excited to think about my next offering. And so watch this space. And like I say at the end of every episode, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I have a mass of free resources on my website, JoannaLottCoaching.com. That's Joanna with an A and Lott with 2 T's, JoannaLottCoaching.com. And I'll also put links in the show notes below. Let me know if you found this episode useful, share it with a friend, and leave me a review, and I will personally thank you for that. Remember to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Get into the arena, dare greatly,